For those of you who don't know, I'm a lawyer here in Ontario, Canada, and I practice real estate law. And ever since I became a lawyer, well, ever since I started law school, I had a run-in with this satanic cult that controls the Canadian governments and governments of many nations around the world. This cult started targeting me in law school, and they created many issues in my life. They hired a girl to honey trap me. Um, they made all kind of problems for me. They defamed me. Um, Many issues they created for me, and as a result of that, 3 years ago, I left Canada. I left my real estate practice, and I went to China to go start a new life there and try to avoid all this. But they continued their problems, they continued their issues. So I decided there was no point in me going living abroad in a foreign country when the same stuff is going to continue there because this cult is global and they have reach everywhere in every country. So I decided to come back to Canada and I started my practice here. Before, when I used to practice real estate, this cult, which is also comprised of criminal elements, and they're involved in organized crime and fraudulent activities. This cult targeted my law firm and another law firm here in Ontario, and they used my services to defraud that other law firm's client, basically out of $700,000. And once that happened, that created problems for me in my practice, and I could not conduct my business as I used to, and there were hurdles and there were obstacles that are slowly starting to uh, go away now after years. Um, However, now this cult has continued to create issues for me in my practice. For example, today, this morning, I went to the bank to close a purchase transaction for a cottage, and when I arrived at the bank, this cult basically controls all the banks, and they control all major institutions in our society. So they can basically go tell the bank employees to do whatever they want. They can tell the airport employees to do whatever they want. They can get you extra screening at the airport. You go to a bank, the bank won't serve you, or they'll freeze your account, or in many cases they would just close your account. They do many things. Whatever this cult wants them to do, they do it. So with me this morning, I went to the bank and I had money that came in for this purchase transaction from RBC, which is another bank, and that money was in my account, and the money from client was also in my account. The money the client has sent, and once I tried to make a wire transfer to the seller's lawyer to purchase this condominium, to purchase this cottage, the bank, uh, the woman working at the bank told me that they can't make this transfer for me, and they just started giving excuses for no reason, even though this is a lawyer's trust account, and and she's asking me where did the RBC money come from? Like, you work in a bank, don't you know that this is a lawyer's trust account? RBC money comes from the mortgage, and it's used to pay for a purchase. It's very obvious. Like, I've done this many times, and even when my account was brand new, I used to get deposited in, and I used to get wires, and I used to conduct business normal. So unless this cult this morning, they used their bank to delay this transaction, then I went to another branch and I tried to do it there. Now, when I went to the other branch, they were willing to do the transaction. They were willing to wire the money for me. They didn't care about where the money came from and none of that. But now, when they try to make a transaction, this call did was they put a hold on the client's money that was deposited 3 days ago and is already showing available in my account. So now I went from one branch to another. Within 15 minutes, they changed the whole dynamic of the situation. Now it was no longer that your funds are not, where did you get these funds? Now it was like, hey, uh, your your money has hold on it. The money that client sent has a hold on it. It's like, what? The client submitted a bank draft, which is like cash. When they submitted the money, nobody told them there was going to be a hold. If there's a hold, that amount of money, you're supposed to inform the client that there's going to be a hold on that amount. You know what I mean? Um, So they did not do that. They let the client deposit the money, and then when it was time for closing, they put a hold on it. So the funds today were not available to send to the other lawyer. So as a result, we had to delay the closing until Wednesday, and that's when they said they were going to release the hold. So now, because of them, a closing got delayed by 6 days or 5 days. Um, and as a result, the client had to pay for the interest of the seller's mortgage because they were supposed to pay out the mortgage today. They could no longer pay it out, so it got delayed. So they had to pay the interest on that, which was 290, around $290. And as a result, they could not visit their cottage today. And as a result, they had to, it was an inconvenience experience for them. However, this cult does not give a shit. And they do whatever they want and they make problems as they please because they're a mafia and they're thugs. And to them, this is nothing. They use their channels, they use their resources to make problems. And even when I'm being a good citizen, I'm trying to conduct my business, I'm trying to help people conducting real estate transaction. This cult is actually hindering that. They're actually preventing that from happening, and as a result, clients are getting paid to pay hundreds of dollars, and they're not able to visit their properties, and they're not able to enjoy their property, all because we have a satanic government that causes problems for its citizens, even when they're good citizens. And the way this cult operates, and the way this pedophilic satanic group operates is they they do what's called they carry out a practice we'll call it the Zerzat thing. I don't know how to say the name properly, but there's that thing. It's a German name. It's a practice that used to be carried out by the Stasi, the East German secret police, against its citizens. They carry out the same blueprint here, um, where if you're a citizen and they're targeting you, all of a sudden you're gonna have issues. You go to the bank, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna have issues with your neighbor. You're gonna have issues with your family members. So they conduct like a social game, where they try to isolate the target and try to make as many issues as they can in their life, and basically try to use try to get that individual to screw up and mess up their life as they have done with me. My life would have been so much better if I didn't deal with this cult. I would have been married. I would have had children. I would have had a lot of money. I would have had a better business. I would have had a better business practice. I would have had more clients. Everything would have been better. But unfortunately, Satan doesn't like me. Pedophiles don't like me, which I'm glad. I don't want to be liked by Satan or pedophiles, so it's totally fine. I'm in this world. I'm living. I'm doing what I need to do, and when it's my time to go, it's gonna be my time to go. But right now, I'm in this game, so I have to deal with it. So Satan controls the world, and we have to live in this world. So basically, bear it, be patient, stay close to God, keep worshiping, be a good person, do good things, give charity, and make the best out of it, right? Cult delayed my closing. Okay, no problem. We'll close on Wednesday. You're gonna delay it on Wednesday? No problem. We close on Friday. Okay? Bye now.